Hi guys, so these are my midday musings, and once I was taught that who you are determines what you do, and that just stood out to me so much because I used to always get it the wrong way round. I used to say that what you do determines who you are, but it's not like that. And then I started thinking about ice and water. Don't ask me why my brain does that, but it just does. Like once I went to a sixth form open day, and they had like this trivia pop quiz. And they said, okay, if I have a glass of water that has ice cubes in it, when the ice cubes melt, will the level of water rise or stay the same? And I instinctively said, no, the level of water will rise because I don't even know how to make this sound sciencey, but I just said, yeah, it's going to rise. But to my surprise, I was told that no, the water level remains the same, even though the form of the ice cube has changed. That it's no longer solid. It's no longer held together in a certain way. Its substance doesn't change. And so the volume of water inside that glass, it doesn't change. Because ice essentially is frozen water. It just doesn't sound eloquent to say it like that. But it's the same substance. Whatever that ice cube was made of, when it's put through a certain level of heat, when the circumstances are no longer favorable for it to be held together, it finds that no, my substance is the same. That who I am is the same. Because who I am determines what I do. And if we see what you do as being the form, maybe it won't always be ice. Maybe sometimes it's in liquid form. That it's not all solid and held together as it once was. But so long as the substance remains H2O, so long as you remain H2O, you find that that's the very thing that enables you to do what you do. And so I started to think about my own life. And there was a season where physically getting to church was really difficult. I couldn't walk to the bus stop, for example, so I couldn't get on a bus. But I said, no, my substance remains the same. That I'm a person who craves the presence of God. That I long to meet with my Father. I long to have fellowship with my Father. And so even though the form was no longer the same, I wasn't solid in the sense that I couldn't walk unassisted to the bus stop. I needed help to get to places. I couldn't do several things by myself. But I said the form has changed, but the substance remains. That the circumstances, they're hot, like I've been passed through the fire, that maybe I don't look like ice anymore, but I look like a melted variation of who I thought I was. But I said one thing doesn't change. And that's my love for God. And so in that season, I thank God for my friends. I thank God for the family that He's given me, because certain provisions would be made and arranged so that I could get to church. That it was like, okay, Karis, we'll make the sacrifice to pick you up and we'll drop you back home so that you can fellowship with God, so that you can be in His presence. But if my substance wasn't made up of being a Theophilus, someone who truly loves God, I would have said, yeah, physically I can't get to church, so I'm not coming. And that would have seemed very justifiable, that no, physically she can't move from her house to get there. Because there was a season I only ever left my house on a Sunday because I couldn't, it was a really crazy season, but physically I couldn't go out and about like that. And so I could have justified things and said, no, I can't. It's not that I don't want to. It's not about whether I want to or not, but physically I can't do it. But I said, no, who I am, it doesn't permit me to not be in fellowship with God. Who this ice cube was, it didn't permit him to bring the level of water down, but it permitted him to keep the level the same, to sustain his love for God, to keep fellowshipping with God, even though circumstances weren't favorable. And so I just felt so encouraged that circumstances won't always be favorable, but who you are determines what you do. So I just thought, wow.
So listen up, simmer down. I'm telling Satan to simmer down. I two-step through the valley of the shadow of death, cause I know that my Savior's around. So listen up, simmer down. I tell my flesh to simmer down. And even though I still fall, I'll rise up again like just give me some room.